The more I train when I don't want to, the more that discipline grows within me, and then it goes to work. It goes to, maybe I didn't want to sit down and do this video, but I've trained my discipline skill in my life through Ironman training, and I feel like it can do a lot to a lot of people, because you're not going to want to do stuff all the time. You're not going to want to go to training. You're not going to want to check off all the boxes on Training Peaks all the time. But it's just learning how to do that when you don't want to do that, because you're not going to want to train every single day. You're not going to want to do every single run, swim, lift, bike, whatever it is. But it's just learning how to do it when you don't want to do that. And that's teaching the skill and how to overcome that. Nice little good vibes for this video. Attitude is free. Love this hat. I've had it for a while. What's going on, YouTube? Today we're going to talk about motivation in Ironman training and how to stay motivated. This is a great question. I get a ton from the athletes that I coach online on my Instagram. I figured I'd just make a YouTube video to kind of just get this out there, and hopefully this hits you. I've definitely been unmotivated a ton, and I mean, it happens. Like, people aren't motivated 24/7, but I think there's a difference between motivation and discipline and learning how to stay consistent. I think all three of those things kind of go hand in hand. Motivation, discipline, consistency. I have done 2 full Ironmans, 8 Ironman 70.3s, a dozen plus half marathons, marathons, ultras. I also coach over 100 athletes online and guide them through their fitness journey. Right now, I've coached over 400 plus in my career, building Hacks Athletic Club. But yeah, I mean, I feel like this topic could really touch you if you're wanting to chat about motivation or just kind of get through a slump. But I think motivation is definitely ups and downs in Ironman training. Like I said, discipline versus motivation is definitely hand in hand, but it's different. I'm going to be motivated when I watch an Ironman YouTube video and someone gets a PR. That's peak motivation, and I'm going to want to go do a run. But will I be motivated in the morning when I'm just getting out of bed and it's cold outside in Canada and it's -12? I have to get a coffee. I have to go in my car that's freezing, wash the window of snow. No, I'm not going to be motivated then. But there's 2 different scenarios. There's when you're motivated and when you're disciplined, and that's those 2 differences right now. And I know a common challenge that we have in this world is seeing motivation and thinking that's what's going to determine our success, because it's not motivation. Motivation is purely temporary when you're getting almost excitement from something you think of or something you see. But I think it's the discipline that drives someone to be consistent and stay consistent. So even if you're watching this video, you might have been thinking about discipline. You might be thinking about you need to learn how to be disciplined other than how do I stay motivated all the time. You're not going to stay motivated all the time. Staying motivated all the time is like saying, I'm going to be ecstatic every single training session that I go to. And no, I'm not going to want to do every 3,000 meter swim workout that I had. Today, I had to drop my girlfriend off at work at around 6:45 a.m. and then go to the pool and swim 3,000 meters with paddles and pull buoy. I knew I was going to grind through that workout, but I mean, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. If it's on my schedule, if my coach puts it on my training schedule, I'm going to do it. And I think that's not letting myself down and not letting others down that are a part of this journey with me. And I think that ties back why it's so important to have a coach or someone that will hold you accountable along the journey. Because when you go into your Training Peaks or whatever training system you have or your spreadsheet or whatever, you're going to see a box unticked that day. And you're going to have some excuse for that, but it's just learning and working on the skill and discipline of how to check that box when you don't want to do that. And I think a couple tips on how to overcome this would be goal setting. I learned this goal setting probably when I was 12 years old in hockey. It's called SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, are relevant, and time bound. So specific, you have a specific goal. Let's say I want to do an Ironman in 4 hours, 30 minutes. Specific. Measurable, I can measure that. I can measure what time I'm going to do on April 5th. Attainable, it's definitely attainable. I did a 4:38 in December. So that's not, it's definitely going to be a PR, but it's definitely attainable. Relevant, it's definitely relevant. And time bound, I have a time on it, April 5th. It's about 10 weeks away. So I'd say that's a first step in overcoming this is making a SMART goal like I just did. Do Ironman 70.3 Oceanside in 4 hours, 30 minutes or less. Step number 2 is creating a plan on how to achieve that SMART goal. So I have a plan right now on my Training Peaks account. That's the plan on how to get there. It's not too hard. I'm here where I am right now, and April 5th, I want to be crossing the finish line in under 4 hours and 30 minutes. The only difference between me now and then is what I do in between now and April 5th. That's going to be the training, that's going to be the recovery, that's going to be the nutrition, that's going to be all those things, including motivation and discipline, on if I'm going to attain that goal. So you need to create a plan in place. You need to get whatever, if it's being hiring me as a coach or hiring whoever as a coach or making your own training plan, I mean, so be it. But that's your plan on how to get there. That being said, it's going to be great to have someone by your side, like a coach or myself, or whoever you choose for your coach, or if you have a coach right now. If you have any questions about triathlon, lifting, running, biking, swimming, and you want to have a schedule, you want to have a plan, and you don't know where to go, fill in the link on my website, hacksathleticlub.com. I'll get back to you within 24 to 48 hours to see if this is a good fit, and we'll go from there. Or if you just have any general questions, message me on Instagram. Let's get back to the video. Someone to hold you accountable. You can ask them questions. You can tell them how the workout went. You can ask them questions about your life on how to sustain this schedule, or if something goes wrong. If you get injured, if you go on a trip unexpectedly, if something happens in your family, you're going to need adjustments to that plan. And sometimes, I would argue all the time, it's better to have someone there with you holding your hand along the journey that's done it 400 plus times than yourself, and you just go on ChatGPT and ask, what should I do now? Because they've had the experience, your coach, myself, whoever coach, whatever it is, they've had that experience in life, and they can guide you through that. So number 2 is create a plan on how to achieve that SMART goal. Number 3 is maintaining the momentum. And this is where motivation and discipline comes into play. Because momentum is what you're gonna need from point A to point B alongside your plan. Let's say 90 days of green leading up to your race, or however many days it is leading up to your race. You're going to want to see consistent work, consistent progress, consistency in checking off the days. And that's going to come with having discipline when you don't want to do that. When you don't want to do a swim, a bike, a run, a lift, blah, 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 whatever that is, you're not going to want to do everything that your coach puts in there. You're not going to want to do everything that maybe you plan for yourself. Let's say you make a daily goals list every single day. You're not going to want to do everything, but you're practicing that skill of discipline, so you're going to be more consistent towards that SMART goal. Maybe you missed 5 days in a row. Maybe that happens. But you have to start sometime. Like you watching this video, if you have a goal down the line, start right now. I mean, you're just going to procrastinate. You're just going to go watch more podcasts or YouTube videos. You need to start and figure it out. You will figure it out. You're going to put the pieces together. I'm gonna tag a video of how I did my first marathon. I had no clue what to do. I signed up and I figured it out. So go watch that video if you're on your first steps of the journey, but that's a tip. You need to start. You need to start holding yourself accountable, asking your coach, asking people to help you to get from where you are right now to where you want to go, if this is something you care about. If you do want to get a PR in a race, if you do want to lose weight through triathlon or running or building your business or reading a book a day, whatever it is, you need to take these steps if you want to even come close to achieving these goals. I mean, I'm just specifically talking about Ironman training, but I know that this will translate to other areas of your life once you do have those goals. So imagine you're at the top of a hill, you have a little snowball, and you roll it down, and you just go and grab it. It's easy to stop. It's only this big. I mean, there's barely any progress made on it. But say you go to the top again, you roll it down, and you wait 30 seconds to go and try to get it. Well, that snowball is going to become a lot bigger. So when you go and try to stop it, it's just going to crush you over and keep rolling. So that's an analogy I love to make when I say maintain momentum and keep up with your consistency, because it's going to be harder to stop you down the line with that momentum growing and with that consistency growing than tomorrow when you just stop it. So maintain that momentum as long as you can go up until that SMART goal. Number 4 is find a reason bigger than yourself. Find a reason why you want to achieve this goal so bad. So in the mornings when you don't want to wake up and you want to snooze that alarm, you have to do it because it's bigger than yourself. My personal goal with this and staying so consistent in building hacks and continuing to train Ironman wise is that I know that my time will come and I won't have time to Ironman train and do this business. I'm going to have a family one day. I'm going to have kids, and I'm not going to have as much time for myself to do that throughout the day. So that's why I'm doing this right now and committing so much time to training, to my business until that time comes, and then lean back a bit on training and focus more on the business side of things. But that's my personal, I've never really said that. That's pretty crazy that I'm sharing it, but that's my personal reason why I'm doing this. But you need to find a personal reason why you're doing that. Is it finding a purpose in life? Is it reconnecting with your old self that maybe you were a good athlete in the past and you want to reconnect with yourself again? Is it solely just to become an Ironman? Is it to become a pro Ironman athlete? Is it to lose weight? Is it to do something really freaking hard? Find that why behind why you're doing this. Arguably, if you don't find a number 4, you're gonna have a really hard time getting through hard times because you're not gonna be motivated all the time. Your discipline will probably be because you're not gonna have something to push you harder when you don't want to do things. So find a number 4. Find a number 4. If you need help, DM me on Instagram, but finding a number 4 is going to be very important. And number 5, use things as motivation. Use me as motivation. Use your friends as motivation. Use YouTubers as motivation. Use little pieces to the puzzle or things that have motivated you along the line and pick those out and have that in your notes to watch when you're maybe feeling down that day, or maybe you're sick. Use those little things to give you little boosts of motivation. Don't rely solely on that because we already have that why and that discipline factor. Have those little pieces of motivation to push you on the days that you don't want to do it. Personally, I have a lot of YouTube videos that I watch. One of them is an Ironman documentary, and every single time I watch that documentary, I start tearing up, and it really solidifies why I'm doing this and why I'm helping so many people in this and building this business and doing this myself. Sometimes I definitely get wrapped up in like the work of hacks and the work of coaching athletes and the work of myself, and I get tired and sloppy, and sometimes I need to snap out of it and really get that motivation back up. Because having those little like cherries that you could pop in your mouth or pop in your mind of that motivation, it's going to really drive you through the hard times or through the times where you don't want to do it. So I mean, I just wanted to ramble on here. I've been making a ton of YouTube videos. I've done a lot, so I'm pretty proud of myself. The past like couple weeks here, I've been pretty consistent with it, but I just want to cover more of these like issues that Ironman athletes and Ironman beginners or intermediates or pros have, because I feel like it's not covered a lot on YouTube or social media anywhere, and I want to be that guy to cover that because I have a lot of experience training, coaching. But yeah, if you have any questions, DM me on Instagram. I'll see you next time.